So I have a question for you. Low 40-degree water. Just after ice out, body of water I'm on right here was iced over a week ago. What baits do I use? What technique do I use? Should I even be fishing at all? These are questions that I asked myself a lot at the beginning of the year, and I got some answers for you guys. So, first of all, there is no magic bullet. You can watch all the YouTube you want. You can study all the information you possibly can find on the internet. There's no bait that's going to catch you fish. There is no technique that is guaranteed to give you fish during any season, but let alone ice out conditions where those bass are still lethargic, they're still in that winter mode, and they're not quite ready for spawn. So, what do? Do you not fish? Do you just give up and wait for warmer days? For me personally, that's not an option. I want to get on the water as soon as it opens. I want to get that first bass into the kayak, and I'm here to tell you guys exactly how to accomplish that. The way to think about ice out fishing is different than any other time of the year because those fish are coming off a very sluggish, lethargic existence where they're only eating when they absolutely have to. So you have to think about a bass's biology. They're cold blooded, so they're going to move slow in this cold weather. So you need to actually not use a specific bait, not use a specific technique, but think about the bass's mentality and slow down. Sometimes they want a small bait, sometimes they want a large bait, and the color pattern is really going to depend on what the forage is in your body of water. But what I highly recommend is take your time. Don't automatically assume that if they're not biting the bait that the guy on YouTube told you to use, that means those fish aren't biting. What you have to do is you have to slow down and you have to think about, where am I fishing? Where were those bass in the late fall when I was out here? Where were those bass when guys were ice fishing on that body of water? Start deep. That's my recommendation, is to start out in deeper water and start casting whatever bait you're confident in, but just work it extremely slow. For example, I'm going to fish right now a paddle tail swim bait. This is my go-to all year long. It's a simple bait, but I'm not going to burn it back to the boat. I'm not going to really force too much about it. What we're going to do, we're going to whip this thing out here. We're going to let it fall. I'm in 16 feet of water, and I'm going to just barely work that bait. I just want that bait to be so irresistible that those bass have no choice but to eat it because it's in the strike zone and it's an easy meal. And that's what you have to think about when you're cold water fishing. You have to think about, what is an easy meal? What can I give those bass that even if they don't feel like coming out of their haunts, they don't want to move, they just want to lay and try to get as warm as they can. How do you get them to bite? Slow down, downsize your baits to start, and then if that doesn't work, try upsizing. But the key is slow, methodical fishing. Work your way around, figure it out, and work it through. I can't recommend enough getting out during ice out and getting on the water as soon as you can safely. Now, the key word there is safely. Wear your ice bibs, wear your PFD, be safe about it. But if you can get on the water early, you'd be surprised how many good days you can really have. Now, I'll admit, there's going to be days that are not so good, and you're going to have days where you don't have the best fish catches and you don't catch a lot or catch anything at all. But the other advantage is you can get out here and you can test out your gear. You can get everything ready for open water. And also, to be honest, it's a great opportunity to test out some new baits that you bought. It's a great opportunity to go out and actually practice a technique that you haven't used a lot, or maybe you just learned about at the end of the year and you want to learn a little bit more about before bass fishing counts. What I mean by that is, you're going to have tough days. It's going to be very, very few and far between fish early on. So why not take advantage of the time on the water, use some baits that you're not familiar with,
get that muscle memory, get those reps in, and who knows, maybe you'll be able to pick up a largemouth like I just did. I want to thank you guys for coming along with me. I really appreciate anyone who takes time to watch my videos. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I promise you, throughout the course of this year, you're going to not regret hitting that button. We have a lot of content coming your way, a lot of tips, a lot of tricks, ton of fishing, and it's going to be a great season for Benya Outdoors.